Hello everyone, it's Jack, Andrew and Ross here once again. Get your crowns on and your jewels out because on Saturday it's time for WWE Crown Jewel 2023.
Yes, it is.
The mood, right.
Up the sports washing.
Up the sports.
Washing.
Washing.
The mood.
Washing?
Yeah. The mood behind the curtain has been desperate, scrambling for ideas for these pitches.
Oh, no. They're all fire on my computer here. I don't know about yours.
Well, Andrew was panicking before. Not panicking, just despondent. And I went, don't worry, Andrew, because last night when I was trying to write these, inspiration just struck me. And
I wish that would happen once to me.
My first two, really, really good.
Well,
I can
we'll be the
promise
judge
that
of
now.
that.
Well, we will be the
Big
judge of it now
words.
because the way this series works is that we'll go around in a circle, each delivering a pitch. Ross, then Andrew, then myself, 3 times, and we'll end up with 9 wonderful pitches for Crown Jewel. But remember the golden rule: it's not what we think is going to happen.
It's what we want to happen.
Ooh, the cadence there.
Julie Mania.
Julie Mania.
This could be a WrestleMania card as far as I'm concerned. Oof, they're stacked the
It
deck.
is a big card. Do you want to start us off?
I'll try. This one comes from Seth Rollins' promo on this week's Raw, where he made Drew McIntyre look like a right dickhead when he's saying, "Oh, you didn't win the WWE Championship like you dreamed, boo." There's people out there who lost their jobs and couldn't buy food during that pandemic, yet you're moaning about that. I thought you made Drew McIntyre look like a right brat. So simply, this pitch has to be that Drew McIntyre cheats and wins the title, but it doesn't stop there. As the watching world is up in arms, Drew is no longer a justified kilted crusader. He is a professional wrestling bad boy, good and proper now. He's a dirty heel. Post-match, Seth Rollins gets his microphone in his hand, or just any random microphone. Might be his own, might be somebody else's. And he cuts this massive promo about winning the title the right way and being an honourable champion and setting an example to the locker room, like, hey, down for the past me, man. And there's no way to do it, Drew McIntyre, the way you've done it today. So if you're a real man, you'll come back down here and fight me like a real man. Drew, who is halfway up the ramp by this point, says, "All right then, Bonnie lad, I'll defend my newly won world heavyweight title against you right now. Bring me a referee down here." This is going to be big bollocks, right, everybody? It's going to be massive. We're not getting just one serving of delicious wrestling pie. We're getting bloody 2, aren't we? It's like on a Friday at school when they would make extra cake. Ding, ding, ding. The pair tie up. We're thinking, wow, we're going to get it straight down the middle here. But McIntyre, after an initial collar and elbow tie up, the struggle is palpable. He takes a step back and he sends Seth Rollins right to Dick Kick City. He gets him right in the yam bag so hard, we're forced to refer to Seth Rollins as Yambag Jones from here on out. The referee, of course, has no choice but to call for the bell. Seth has won by disqualification, but crucially, Drew McIntyre has retained his title with Yambag Jones now down on the mat, clutching his bag of yams. Drew McIntyre grabs another microphone and stands over his fallen foe and simply says, "Boo freaking who?" Mic drop, he walks away.
Yeah!
Damn, boy.
The bit that I was trying not to laugh during that, because it was the way you rang the bell for the second match. You went ding, ding, ding.
Oh, it's a bigger ding. It's a much bigger ding. I thought I just saw a fly flying across there. Like it was a shadow of something. Astonishing. Right, yes.
It's a yes from me.
Tremendous.
I like the way I think they've quite deliberately made Drew. They're doing the old Bret Hart before the Austin double turn, aren't they?
Yeah.
Where they're making him. He's got justified points, but he's expressing them in a whiny way.
He's trapped in that wrestling bubble, isn't he? He's lost sense of what's real in this life.
Yes.
But actually, I think that it would be the far more compelling decision, because I am worried that Rollins is just going to beat him and that's going to be it. Especially since Priest mentioned possibly cashing in this week on Raw. I'm like, well, that makes it less likely in my mind because he's mentioned it. So I am worried that just nothing's going to happen and Rollins is just going to retain. But the way you've done it is far more compelling, and I like the idea of Drew as a heel champion, so it's a yes from me.
Yeah, I think that is the perfect way to do it in terms of just like, he's a heel now. He's a heel.
dick, isn't he?
He's a massive dick. He's made Seth Rollins look like a silly Billy as well with a big old kick in the widgie. So I think that's a nice way to kind of like parallel that in some way. So I enjoyed it.
Thank you all.
It was great.
God bless.
Spider-Man, can we have your next Is that part of the hat or is it a sticker?
No, yeah, it's part of the
Oh,
hat.
it's part of the hat.
Have
okay.
you completed the Spider-Mans of the second coming?
So close. I don't want it to end though. I'm like savouring it like a nice meal where you savour it. You leave the best bit till last, which is the ending, because that's technically what's last, because I've done everything else. So.
That would make sense.
That would make a lot of sense, yes.
What about that lad cooking meth in his room, eh? This Easter egg that everyone see it. I saw it on X.com this morning.
Sorry, what?
There's some lad and you're just roaming down a street and then you turn right and there's just a window and there's some
Oh.
lad cooking meth or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw that there was some sort of Easter egg, but I didn't click on it in fear of spoiling something.
He
for
might be
myself.
doing something else, but it looked like he was cooking meth
though.
to
It might
me.
be a chemistry set. He might,
might
be,
be,
yeah,
it might be
doing experiments.
a super villain origin story waiting to
I
happen.
bloody
Meth
love, I
man.
love superheroes, mate.
Meth man. Right, I'll go for the first one.
He's a rapper, wasn't he?
Meth
Yeah,
man.
Meth
That's Method man.
He was on WF Aggression. It's Method Man. I forgot what song he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry
I
on,
don't
sorry.
know. Right. Okay. Right. First one. So we're going to the pre-show. Everybody, pre-show o'clock Crown Jewel exposition time is what I've called it right here, right? Because there's a lot of moving parts in this one. Backstage, we see both brands' general managers cross paths. Nick Aldis tells Adam Pearce that he's happy that he and his Raw ruffians have steered clear of the Blue brand's business. But make no mistake, just because this is a premium live event and both rosters are under the same roof, that doesn't mean the shenanigans can resume. Pearce agrees with Aldis' statement. In fact, he's gone one step further. He's talked to the tippy-top powers that be, that he has been bestowed the power to suspend any member of the SmackDown roster that dare interfere with Red brand dealings this evening. Whether that's Jimmy, Solo, the Uwu champion Roman, or even Aldis himself, the segment ends with a seething Aldis storming off screen and a smiling Pearce turning around to find Jey Uso standing behind him. Jey Yates! And tells Pearce he has some balls, but before Adam can get too wrapped up in Jay's adulation, the GM lets Mr. Main Event know that this rule is likely to go both ways. So under no circumstances, no matter what his brother and the rest of the bloodline get up to this evening, Jay, you cannot get involved, you morally just man. So, Q Solo versus John Cena. Now, with Jimmy causing distractions and finding himself on the receiving end of an AA, Solo manages to keep Cena's one-on-one defeat streak going by capitalizing with a Samoan spike that puts the leader of the C Nation down for the 1-2-3. But backstage after the match, Sikoa and a battered Jimmy at this point find themselves face-to-face with their brother Jay. Ironically, it's the beaten up Jimmy that mocks his brother. He belittles Jay for not being able to hold a title for long without having Jimmy at his side. He's not even booked on the pay-per-view either, bloody hellfire. And he talks about how he broke away from being Roman's right-hand man in hopes to prove his own worth, only to end up becoming Cody Rhodes' right-hand man instead. Oh my goodness gracious me. Jimmy, in quotation marks, heavy quotation marks. Jimmy's the one out here making plays, defeating legends, keeping the Usos' name relevant. Clearly, they gave the wrong brother the main event moniker. Before Jay can step to Jimmy, however, Cody intervenes and holds him back. Jimmy smirks and tells his little brother to keep watching tonight for a lesson in how to really get things done. And as Solo and Jimmy exit, Cody tells Jay that he saw what happened last week on SmackDown with the fine that he got given and heard the situation regarding the GMs earlier this evening. And knowing that they themselves can't get involved physically with the brand restrictions in place, he took it upon himself, did our Cody Rhodes, to make a few telephone calls to call somebody who might be able to help. But they haven't given Rhodes a definitive answer yet. But time, it most certainly will do tell. Ooh. I wrote that
Time
there.
most certainly will do tell.
It most certainly will do tell. That famous saying. Later, we cut to Roman Reigns versus LA Knight for the Uwu title, and despite it looking like it could almost be his game this evening, it's not to be for the megastar as Roman Reigns manages to retain the title. Surprise, surprise, as Cilla Black once said. Not in decisive fashion, however, far from it, as interference from Jimmy again unintentionally almost cost Reigns the match as he gets caught with a BFT. It isn't until Solo gets involved that things sway in the favour of the tribal chief. Clearly shaken by how close it almost was, though, Roman aggressively orders Solo and Jimmy to attack Knight post-match. And as the brothers begin to lay into him, Roman slinks off back up the ramp, but not before Mr. Jonathan Cena. He's got a bit of a brace around his throat now, like a bit of a protective brace after that Samoan spike. He charges towards the ramp to make the save, and he throws Roman back in the ring. He fights off Jimmy and Solo and hoists Roman up for an AA after countering a Superman punch attempt made by the champion. But Sikoa recoups in time and pulls Roman off Cena's shoulders. He tears away that protective brace wrapped around Cena's throat. And we get a lovely Samoan spike spear combo wombo to lay the veteran out for good. He's down on the floor. Is he dead? He's not dead. He's alive, but he's hurt. The beatdown doesn't stop there, though. With Cena clutching his throat in agony, Roman looks at Jimmy and calls for some steel chairs. Jimmy and Solo Jimmy and Solo each place a chair around the throats of Cena and Knight. And as Roman extends his hand to grab the remaining chair from Jimmy's grasp, he tells the tribal chief, nah, I've got this. This is my time to shine. Jimmy stares down the hard cam and he says, who's main event now, Jay? Who's the better brother? Who's the one out here killing legends? Oh. I hear voices in my head. They come to me. Then talk to me. He's got it.
It's awful, isn't it, that song?
Yeah. I don't like that one.
I hate the guitars.
Me too.
Yeah, but it's ominous. It fits him.
It does, because he hears the voices.
Give me a bit of Mercy Drive.
Sneaker boy. I hear voices in my head. Voices blare throughout Madison Square Garden. Yes, Randall Keith Orton's music hits, and all three members of the Bloodline look towards the Tron, but it's classic sneaky spy Keith. He dashes through the crowd, and he hits Jimmy with an RKO out of nowhere, while Solo and Roman manage to escape unscathed. He's neither a member of Raw or SmackDown at the moment, remember, because he was left off the 2023 draft. Therefore, he can get involved in Bloodline business without any GM repercussions. There's stuff there with Cody Rhodes. Randy might have been a little bit apprehensive at the start, which is why he didn't get a definitive answer from Cody, seeing as Jay is sort of on Cody's side and everything at the moment. Oh, it was a big setup to have that tiny payoff right there.
Yeah, it was good. It was actually the payoff that made me turn from a medium into a yes. I was undecided at first because we've mentioned before, you're really good at kind of mimicking WWE's product style with your dialogue and with your certain things you pitch. Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Sometimes you get a bit wacky. But you're very good at working within their parameter. It feels quite authentic.
Yeah.
But when you said that Cody was going to call up anyone, and I thought, this could be literally anyone in the world who's not on Raw or SmackDown, well, potentially SmackDown. I was like thinking Okada, Austin, MJF, any wrestler possible, LA Park, anybody. And then you went for Randy Orton, but that was a relief to me because it was genuinely exciting. But I was worried it was going to be like Baron Corbin. Because you're very good at mimicking the WWE style. I got lulled into a false sense of security. I was like, it's going to be some bollocks. But no, it was Randall. And it was Randall. It's a yes from me.
Thank you.
Sometimes in life you have to sit on a megabus for 17 hours before getting to Amsterdam. But when you get to Amsterdam, that 17-hour bus ride was worth it. Sometimes the ride's not worth it, as Adam showed back in 2017. But this ride, Andrew, was worth it.
I'm glad it was worth it.
Just for Randy Orton. This was the 17-hour bus ride, but the destination, we got to spend longer than half an hour in it.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you for enduring the bus ride with me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my turn now. For a while now, since it got mentioned that I often hold the paper too close to my face and it looks awkward because I didn't have my lenses in. I've made sure to wear my lenses for each of these, but last night I fell asleep in my lenses, so I'm giving my eyes a rest today. So sorry if I'm,
I watched a video of a woman in her 60s, I believe, having all her contact lenses pulled out of her eyes that got stuck behind them over the years. Yeah.
I don't know how she can deal with just like when I woke up this morning, the first thing I was like, oh no.
I don't know if she was deceased or not, but it was just the camera was like right there in front of her face and just having them pulled out. I don't know if Joel wants to get up on camera.
What did they feel like? Lenses? Are they like
Have you never tried them?
I've never had lenses.
So they're kind of malleable and like a bit not rubbery, but like you shouldn't because you might tear them, but they can stretch a little bit. There's a little bit of give, but then
if you need to zoom
If
in,
you've if you've left them out of the solution for too long,
Yeah.
If you like drop one on the floor and find it days later, it's hard then. Yeah.
Oh.
Any more
Science.
contact lens questions?
No.
Right. Early in the night, before what I assume is the main event between Roman Reigns and LA Knight, although it could be Seth and Drew.
It's surely Roman
Roman
Reigns,
Reigns,
isn't it? Got to end the show with Roman Reigns going,
So earlier in the night, before that happens, we see Jimmy Uso annoying the rest of the bloodline in their locker room. He's pitching ideas. He's getting ahead of himself. Roman finally has enough and says, give me space for just half an hour so I can prepare for my match. Jimmy's like, all right, guys, come on. Let's all leave the tribal chief alone. But Solo and Heyman don't move, and Roman doesn't stop them. And he's like, Jimmy, just go on.
Yeah.
Give me some space. Jimmy hides his frustration and heads out. As Jimmy is killing time backstage, he's ambushed and beaten down by LA Knight. He's incapacitated, and LA Knight notices afterwards that Jimmy's phone has fallen out of his pocket on the floor. He gets an idea and takes the phone. Later in the night, later on, Solo faces John Cena, and Cena wins. Sorry, Solo wins, but it's Cena who ends the match better off. It's a bit like Undertaker Triple H at WrestleMania 27. So Solo's pulled out the victory, but he's the one who's been more hurt by this match. Maybe Cena has gone a bit vicious and used the spike on him a few times. Solo still ultimately pulls out the win, but he has to be helped to the back while Cena is visibly very, very disappointed in the ring. That's two members of the bloodline gone ahead of LA Knight's match with Roman. Jimmy's been taken out by LA Knight. Solo's been taken out by Cena. Back in the bloodline locker room, Heyman's getting a bit worried, and then he gets a text from Jimmy Uso asking him to meet him in the car park. But we know.
I like
we
it.
know. It's called dramatic irony. Yeah, absolutely. Loving it. And it's raining when he gets out there. Pathetic fallacy. No, it's not. It's in Riyadh, isn't it? It's not going to be raining.
Yeah.
Heyman's like, ugh. But he reluctantly goes to find Jimmy. Heyman arrives in the car park, and I didn't know what to have him do to Heyman, so I put LA Knight locks him in a porta cabin or something.
runs him over,
He runs him over,
Right.
like Rikishi did.
That's
To
the
Steve
way.
Austin. The main event comes around, and suddenly Roman has to face LA Knight alone. They have the match, and whenever Knight builds up a head of steam, there's nobody to help Roman turn the tide like they usually would be, and has been multiple times before. Finally, they hit the finishing stretch. LA Knight has kicked out of the spear, and he's worked his way back into the match. He's measuring Roman for the BFT, but the ref is down. And a mysterious man in a balaclava hits the ring. He smashes LA Knight with one of Roman's belts. Does he still use multiple belts? Yeah.
Does he still
No,
carry
he's still got
that?
the-
I
just
think
the
he
one.
just carries the one
Hits him
now,
with the
yeah.
belt and gets out of there. Roman hits his like big double runny spear where he hits both ropes and gets the win. Roman heads to the back alone, his title reign barely intact, as LA Knight gets a standing ovation for his brave effort from the fans. He turns to leave, but the balaclava man's still there. He gets back in the ring and hits him with an attitude adjustment.
Oh,
he's loving it. Oh.
Sneaky boy.
He takes off the what?
Who could it be?
He takes off the mask and it's John Cena. As the show goes off the air, the camera picks up Cena saying to LA Knight, I had to do it. On a later SmackDown, Cena comes out and is presumably showered with booze because LA Knight's really popular at the minute. He's just cost him. He explains that even though he took Solo to the very limit, he still couldn't get the job done. Maybe it's time that he finally did what people have been telling him to do for almost 20 years now and embrace his more ruthless side. This sets up a match at the Royal Rumble between Cena and LA Knight. Also a handy way of getting LA Knight out of the Rumble match to avoid giving people false hope so they can focus on whoever they're actually going to have win the Rumble. Maybe Knight wins against Cena and Cena realizes it's finally his time and we get a big retirement match for him at WrestleMania against CM Punk. I just put that in as a joke at the end. I don't know who, but it's to ultimately lead to Cena retiring after he realizes that even turning heel couldn't do it.
Oh, god damn. You were right when you said you got struck by some
Couldn't believe it.
inspiration.
I was like, wow, a Cena heel turn. No one's ever pitched that before.
I like it.
So do I.
I
There's just
really,
the-
really like it.
Just need some NWO as well. Get involved
Yeah,
in it. That's it.
oh.
That's the perfect pitch.
Why the NWO?
Well, just so
that's the
Cena can
one-
join them?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
That's his
yeah.
heel
He
side,
did
innit?
the thing, didn't he, in the Bray Wyatt match?
Yeah, it's true.
Also, when you said ruthless, it was the man who said ruthless aggression.
he's
It was Jonathan Cena.
Oh, we need to incorporate that as
Yes,
well.
we
He's
do.
always been aggressive, but he's never quite been ruthless
no,
enough. Yeah,
now,
yeah.
now's his time.
It is his
time is
time.
now.
His time
yeah.
is now, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Don't cry.
It's a good way to solve.
It's so good.
It's a good way to solve the Rumble as well, because I can picture it being like 2014, 15, whenever Brian was
15.
going wild.
Oh, 14, Brian just wasn't in it.
Yeah, so
2015,
15,
he got
yeah.
eliminated early. Yeah,
Wide.
yeah. But I feel like this year's Rumble is going to have multiple people who could reasonably.
Oh, it's Cody, isn't it? Surely.
Cody.
Again, do you reckon though? I reckon, and I've said this
Rollins.
multiple times. Seth
Beat
Rollins,
Roman because he's going to be the one who beats Roman.
I think Cody's not going to win the Rumble, and he's going to have to go into the Elimination Chamber
I think
to
you're
like
right.
win his spot
I think
at
you're right.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. Ross, your second pitch, please.
On the SmackDown before Crown Jewel, Bianca Belair is set to take on Bayley before going on to face Io Sky at the Premium Live event. I know SmackDown's been recorded, but in my world, it hasn't. It's happening live and it's a shoot. Just because I guarantee that what I've got written down here is different to what actually happened in real life. But I've not seen the spoilers, so who knows? During the SmackDown match, Bianca looked like she's going to walk to a win over Bayley before kaboosh! Dakota Kai twats Bianca upside the head with her knee brace that she'd stopped wearing the last few weeks, but still owns because she paid a lot of money for it. And we do a concussion angle with Bianca Belair. She's been screwed out of the title match at Crown Jewel. There's no way she can perform a day after suffering a legit shoot concussion. The powers that be rightfully won't allow for it to happen. So we see that segment in the trainer's room where it's all being confirmed that Bianca can't do the match at Crown Jewel, but there's a door with a glass panel in it in the background, and we see Bayley's little head peeking up and going like a child looking through. What have I written down here? Like a child looking through the glass at a local sweet shop that she's going to rob because she doesn't have the money to afford the sweets yet because she is a child.
That's almost that's Dickensian.
In my mind, this angle here with Bianca furthers the injustices she's been feeling over the past couple of months that's turned her into a longer than that, isn't it? More than a couple of months, into the modern day Bret Hart. It also means the predictable finish, which I think is going to be predictable with Bianca taking the title off Io at the PLE, isn't going to happen. Yeah, just because Charlotte Flair is involved in the mix. We've got Jade Cargill in the background. I think Bianca's going to take the title, and that's going to be the focus heading into WrestleMania season. Just my opinion, I don't know. It also allows Bayley to say to Io, well, you're booked for the show there, Bonnie Lass. I was going to be there in your corner anyway. How about we show the world what Damage Control can do and show that we are the dog's bollocks and put on a wrestling exhibition like only we can here
Don't fall
in
for
Damage
it, Io.
Control.
Don't fall for it, Io.
Io's like, yes, yes, she says, yes. I do appreciate what you've done here, Pamela and Dakota, who is also on the scene here. Let's have a wrestle, and I'll put the title on the line. May the best woman win. I'm sure nothing's going to go wrong. Io walks away, and Bayley ends the segment by saying, what a stupid idiot. Bayley cheats and wins at Crown Jewel and ends Damage Control as we know it. She's the chicken poo heel with Io now chasing her into Rumble season, looking to get her title back. Because I feel like Io's been organically turning more babyface the more she's wrestled. So I think splitting her away from Bayley, who can't be cheered currently. She's disgraceful. She's a disgusting, putrid human being. I don't mean that. She's just a wrestling heel. But yeah, I think splitting Io off and letting her be her own babyface in her own right is the right thing to do at this point.
It's a yes from me.
It's a yes from me. Sorry, before you were going to continue there, and
Please,
I butted in. No, please, you first.
No,
I insist.
Right, I have said yes because Bayley's one of the most entertaining people to watch in WWE. She's really funny, and I think it's weird that they've not rewarded her for that and that she's just stuck being a sidekick. It's like what happened to Britt Baker when Jamie Hayter got the belt, except Britt had already recently had a big title reign, whereas it feels like ages since Bayley's had any sort of success like that. So it's a yes from me.
It's a yes from me for the sort of the same reasons that Jack said there, and we are going to get there. I do really like Bayley as a heel. And I'd like to keep that pushing forward as well, and make Io just like the biggest babyface women's champion as well, and just make her look strong at the same time. I think her going up against someone like Bayley and Bianca, I guess as well at Crown Jewel, is a good way to do that. Even though you've not done that with the Bianca stuff, but still, you know what I mean. I
should make it clear that Dakota. Sorry, I'm getting emotional now thinking about Io losing the title. She's still in the corner of Bayley at this point.
Okay.
They're in cahoots.
It's been all yeses so far.
It has. Well, we'll see, because mine is literally a parallel universe version of what yours is.
What? Which one? The Bayley one?
Really? That's this is my second one. And it's pretty much
That was one of the matches when I looked at the card where I was like, I can't really change anything.
I don't know. I think
both of you have come with pictures.
I think there's something there, and maybe it's to do with maybe there's some SmackDown spoilers. Maybe there's not SmackDown spoilers. That's up for you.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
This week's SmackDown.
But what I'm saying might not happen, but it might happen. But it's up to you to decide.
Is it a spoiler alert or not?
Yeah. But it might
Sorry,
not
I got
happen.
really impatient.
Okay, so we're heading over to this Friday's SmackDown. Obviously, as we've spoken about there, it's pre-taped because they're in Saudi Arabia this weekend. So maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't happen, but it does happen. It's a spoiler. It's a spoiler. It's a spoiler. All right, everybody. All right, but so I'm going off this. I'm basing it off this.
So it's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler.
Right.
Tell us when the
Be
spoiler
warned.
ends, by the way, when it's your...
Well, the spoiler's right. Well, I mean, I guess. I'll tell you.
Have you got any vodka?
Right. Right. Spoiler starts now.
Right. Here we go.
But I don't know if it's decisive.
Oh!
Spoiler starts now.
What do you mean you don't know if it's decisive?
Because I don't know
It
the
either
length of the
happened
match.
or it didn't
I
happen.
don't know the length. I know the things. I know the
Do you know the spoilers from
I know
SmackDown?
the outcome of the match. I don't know what happens after the
Right,
match.
okay, right.
But I don't know what happens in the match
Fair
itself.
enough. There was
Okay.
more nuance to it than me and Ross gave you credit for. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So I'm going to say spoiler here. We've got you, right? Bianca beats Bayley rather decisively. Not only that, but she wants to make sure her title match against Io this weekend is a level playing field. As Sky and Dakota try to get involved following Belair's win, Bianca manages to get the upper hand, taking both women out. Before Bayley can capitalize with a cheeky sneak attack from behind, however, Bianca turns to catch her in the act. Frustrated with Damage Control's meddling, most of which has stemmed from Bayley, I do believe. Belair grabs her now cowering opponent and pulls her out of the ring and hits a KOD through the announce table. Wait, oh, yeah, no nonsense. Bianca looks wazzed off, and with the way that Bayley went hurtling through the table, she's clutching at her knee as well. And she's had a history of knee injuries. Spoiler finished.
Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome. There we go. Again,
So what you're saying is that result did happen, but it might not
but
necessarily
it might not
have
play
been
out
that
in
angle.
that way.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Okay. So backstage, we see Kai and Sky checking on a pained Bayley as Bianca leaves. Oh, sorry, no. Let me try that again. We see Kai and Sky checking on a pained Bayley as Bianca leaves up the rampway. Her expression of frustration turns into one, and she's like, oh, maybe I am leveling the playing field here. Later in the evening, we get a backstage segment with Damage Control, who are now in medical with doctors checking on Bayley's knee as she tries to brush the staff aside, claiming that they've got a plane to catch and a title match to prepare for tomorrow. Bayley tries to leave, but she can't put pressure on the knee. The doctors say that they need to do further examination at the local medical facility, and although Bayley is reluctant, Io ensures her stablemates that she's got this, and she even encourages Dakota to accompany Bayley as well. Off you trot. Go on, go away. So as Io leaves the medical room, the champion finds herself crossing paths with a close-by Belair, who does nothing, but she smiles a bit of a cocky smile in Io's direction, and the segment ends.
Delicious.
So we cut to Crown Jewel in the match itself. She's just reveling in the fact that Io is companionless, and the playing field has indeed been leveled just as she intended. As the match begins, Belair, she's kind of toying with Io a little bit. She's overly confident given the situation. She's slapping Io about. She out-wrestles her. She's attempting blasé pins, basically trying to make a mockery of Io, whilst in her eyes, rightfully dishing out a lot of pent-up frustration, obviously, because Damage Control were the ones that took her out for months and months and months. Her overconfidence soon gets the better of her, though, as it allows Io to mount a spirited comeback. This attempt from Sky only enhances Bianca's frustration, which swiftly flows over into aggression instead. And after getting into position on an over-the-moonsault, you've got to imagine with me here, everybody, all right? Imagine we're playing the game of wrestling, and we'll figure it out. So after getting into position to hit an over-the-moonsault, Bianca manages to catch the Genius of the Sky on the turnbuckle and hits her with a KOD.
Catch her on the turnbuckle.
So, you know, like, Io's like on the
she's
turnbuckle
ready for the
there.
moonsault,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then Bianca kind of like
she
comes
goes,
up behind and just grabs.
I thought you meant
That's
she
not the
caught
bit.
her in midair.
Well, we'll soon see what's going on here, shall we? Right. So Bianca isn't satisfied with just the one KOD, however. She's been sat at home for months following that attack at the hands of Damage Control. She wants to put Io down for good and take back the title. She shakes her head. She doesn't go for the pin. Instead, she picks up the champion for a second KOD. But this proves to be Bianca's downfall, though, as when she gets Sky into position, Io manages to hold on to the top ropes in the corner, and when the momentum gets shifted and like Bianca goes for the thing, we see Io manages to like get onto the top turnbuckle. This would make sense. This would work, right?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
see it in your mind's eye?
She's struggling with her on her back.
She's upside down,
And then
Io's grabbing the ropes.
Bianca would have to flick her
So
legs.
she's like flicked her up, and then Io's holding on, and as the rotation comes round, she would be perched on the top rope.
Io's done a full
She
handstand on the ropes.
Yeah, she's athletic. She could do that.
Jeez.
You know what? In the turnbuckle, so there's more leeway. You know what I mean? Not
I thought you just meant
Not on
when she's going for the KOD.
Is this part really important?
It is really important because it sets up for the ending.
I thought she does it that way, and Io just ends up standing on the top. But she does a
This is
flip.
the
I
corner
can
of
see
the
it.
ring.
No, because she's got Io's face in the sky when she's on Bianca's back.
Yeah.
It works.
That's it.
It's all right, everyone. I've
Because-
corroborated it. I can confirm it does. It is possible.
She's the genius of the sky.
Yeah, she is.
So yes, this proves to be Bianca's downfall, as when she gets Sky into position, Io manages to hold on to the top ropes in the corner, shifting the momentum in a way that sees her come out of the finisher's rotation and end up perched on the top turnbuckle. And in doing that, Io manages to grab Bianca's braid and pulls her face first into the turnbuckle, which then lays the challenger out for in the perfect position to get the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Io Sky retains the title on her own. After the match, we can see that Bianca is visibly fuming, as Owen Mawson would say. But regardless, she can't deny that Io did this alone without any help from Damage Control. Through gritted teeth, she swallows her pride, and the two shake hands, and Belair raises Sky's arm in victory. But as the champion tries to leave the ring, Belair's grasp around Io's wrist remains. Now, Io tries to tug away and even tries to go for a clothesline to break Bianca's grip, but Bianca manages to duck out of the way, and she hits another KOD. But she's unsatisfied with leaving it at that. All this pent-up frustration and anger. Bianca decides to viciously add even more insult to injury, and she uses a braid to apply like an assisted crossface on the already lifeless Sky as officials swarm the ring to break this apart, solidifying a big old nasty heel turn that turns her into the mad EST and the bad EST.
It's still a yes from me.
Yeah.
But you've got lucky there with that
I
ending.
got lucky there.
No, it was going to be a no originally.
Yeah.
Because I thought when the pinfall happened, I was like, so your pitch is just that Io retains. But no, you've done a heel turn after.
Yeah.
On her own.
On her own.
To be fair. But you've done a heel turn after. It enhances Io because she's won on her own, as you say. And people were getting sick of Bianca as a babyface, I think. Yeah. So it's a yes. It's a yes.
Thank you.
Just because I'm really enjoying Bianca Belair as a justified arsehole.
Yeah.
More and more as more stuff goes against her. And basically because I think I did it better. I'm going to say no.
You did do
and
a
I'm going
really
to
good
cause a ruction on the pitches video. I did it better.
You know,
The comments will be going, oh, Andrew's such a wordsmith.
No,
He should be working for the WWE.
I see what you're trying to do and spice up the series a bit.
Yes, we
but
are.
Andrew's the wrong person to target because he's just going to go, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying yours was more concise.
No, you should be. We're going to take it outside,
Fight
Andrew,
back,
and sort
go
out
on.
the car park.
And I'll just read my pitch to Joel and he can give a yes or a no. And then you can come back in and report on what happened outside.
Okay.
Andrew won.
Here we go. Where am I up to? No, it's my second one. Sorry. Towards the end of the Seth Rollins title defense against Drew McIntyre, the Judgment Day predictably surround the ring. Rhea Ripley asks both of them, both Seth and Drew. So I can't do an Australian. What's it gonna be?
Right.
What's it gonna be like?
What's it going to be? You
Really?
Mars?
Who's gonna accept the Judgment Day's help?
And they drongos?
So they both tell her to get out of here. After they've both finished arguing with Ripley, Drew then hits quite a cheap Claymore on Rollins, who's still a bit distracted by what's gone on. Drew's fully focused. He's like, bang, Claymore, 1, 2. Rollins survives. The match carries on, and it just becomes apparent that Drew can't put Seth away. He's just too good. He kicks out of a stomp, but Seth gets him in a position for the super stomp. I think he did it to Omos, maybe, where he jumps off the top.
Oh, yeah.
So Drew's on his hands and knees. In desperation, he grabs the ref by the belt and yanks him through the ropes. And as the ref tumbles to the outside, Seth is crotched on the top rope. Crotched is a weird... I've only ever heard that in wrestling. It's a wrestling term. You know what I mean? He's,
Yeah.
Oh,
He's hit his yam bags.
he has. Drew, still now on his hands and knees, visually significant, symbolic, looks at a grinning Rhea through the ropes and says, okay, damn it. fine.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He goes,
He
okay.
bloody doesn't.
Well, he goes, all right then, pal. With the referee still on the outside, the Judgment Day swarm the ring and beat Seth down, all the finishers and all sorts. Maybe Dom just kicks him in the balls. Seems like a Dom thing to do. Allowing Drew to measure a worn-out Rollins for one final Claymore when the ref's back in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre is the new World Heavyweight Champion. After the match, the Judgment Day get back in the ring and present Drew with the belt. He looks unhappy with himself at first, but as soon as he touches that gold and looks out into the crowd all there to see his win, his frown turns into a look of vindication. He's like, I've done it, yes. He shakes hands with each of the Judgment Day in turn, apart from Damian Priest, who just holds his briefcase and looks on emotionless. Over the next few weeks, as we build a Survivor Series, Drew is treated as an absolute traitor and hypocrite by the Raw locker room. Sammy can't bear to look at him, neither can Cody. Jey Uso is absolutely outraged, as you'd imagine, after all the crap that Drew's been giving him. This sets up a big 5-on-5 match for Survivor Series. Balor, Priest, Dom, Rhea Ripley, and now Drew against the babyface team of Seth, Cody, Jey, Sammy, and to combat Rhea Ripley, Seth calls in a favor from his wife. He's like, Becky, come on. And then I've got, in brackets, a possible add-on as well. Just a cheeky bonus chapter. Possible add-on at Survivor Series. Priest is surprisingly the first member of his team eliminated, which leads to the Judgment Day kicking him out and basically replacing him with Drew, because who cares about the briefcase when you've already got the champion in your group? Drew then kind of leads the JD on this reign of terror, while Priest becomes a babyface trying to bring them down.
Oh, God.
Baby.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know if I can palate Drew McIntyre in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, well, he looks gothy already. You know.
He does,
He does
yeah.
look gothy.
Oh.
Oh.
I can't. Oh.
I
and
thought...
Damien's a babyface as well.
No, I can see that happening because I feel like
scoundrel.
they're starting to.
They get Bad Bunny back in.
Yeah. Though with what Cody said on Raw this past week, I feel like we're slowly starting that process now.
What did Cody say?
Cody was like, "Oh, you can't do anything, like, without these. You're not even the leader of this, that, and the other." Like, I feel like we're slowly getting there. Damien seemed like, "Oh, actually, maybe there's some truth to Cody's words here." Yeah. I'm gonna say yes, because I want to see a payoff from Rhea sort of trying to recruit either Seth or Drew, because we got those backstage bits. I don't want that to go nowhere. Okay. I want it to lend itself to the match and add a little bit of drama to the proceedings. Maybe I would have liked it a bit more if Drew was then like, if Drew was like, oh, I got the belt, ha, Claymore to you all.
Oh yeah,
and then knocked them all out as well, you know.
Well.
Just a means to the gains.
I like that more than mine.
Oh, well,
it's a yes for you.
It's a yes.
You could end this video with 4 yeses.
You added some little other spices in there. It's like when you watch Rate My Takeaway, right? And he gets something, and he gets an order.
Has he not finished
and
now?
No, it's still going.
Still going.
He gets an order, and then they give him something extra, and he's like, "That's not going to sway my decision," but you can tell it does sway the decision.
Does he still
a
give
bit,
10s for like?
You know? Not all the time.
It's a 7 upwards still. It's a crap scale.
It is.
If you get a 7 from him, you're actually terrible.
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah. But that the little bits there for Survivor Series and beyond swayed me slightly.
I remember when he first came to Newcastle and did like 3 takeaways a year, and he chose good ones, and they all got 10s, and I remember thinking, we are mint. All 10s. Gingerino's Pizza, 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
And whatever the other ones were as well. And then it just became like a fallacy, didn't it? I was like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that one. What was it, like the biggest 40-inch pizza? But it's like, well,
Cultaholic, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, did he go Cultaholic?
Which has a bad reputation, doesn't it, around town?
Is that when he's getting in his car with his massive pizza?
Yeah,
on the roof?
he puts it on the roof.
And he
Just
pulls out on Chili Road just without. I'm like, whoa.
He's not good at driving. He's not good at driving or parking.
Everywhere. Oh,
he's pretty bad.
Were you giving it a yes or a no?
I'm giving it a no,
right,
because Drew McIntyre in the Judgment Day, I cannot palate, as I cannot palate my third pitch, which was going to be a bit where I was going to pitch a standard Roman Reigns match against LA Knight and then go on strike, because I think we're wasting what we've done with LA Knight at this time of the year, what he did on SmackDown last week. So I'm going to come at one off the top of my head. We're going to go to Drew No, we're going to go to Solo Sikoa versus John Cena. And we have shades of SummerSlam 2014 where Solo Sikoa just batters John Cena and batters him some more and just wipes the floor with poor old John Cena. This leads to a promo with John Cena where he's like, well, I don't want to lose what I've got here. I can't let the fans see this crippled old man that I've become now here in 2023 wrestle any longer. Therefore, I've got to give it up. I can't do it anymore. This was my last match. It's all over. I can't let the noise get quieter and quieter and quieter. At which point, Randy Orton comes out, right? Randy Orton's out here. So Randy Orton's out here and like, John, we were the faces of a certain era, John, and we're not going to let this era die. How about we bring along the tag team known as RKO, double A RKO, RKO, and we take on these young whippersnappers and show that the era that we were the faces of, that I've forgotten the name of, what the hell was it?
Ruthless Aggression.
The Ruthless Aggression era, of course, that is still alive and kicking here in 2023.
Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless aggression. So yes, they're just about to leave the ring. It looks like we've seen a new tag team form in the WWE, a dream team of sorts, when all of a sudden, shoot RKO. Yeah, John, you are crap, and I'm going to put you into retirement at WrestleMania. We're going to fight each other. And then CM Punk's music hit. He comes down. He walks down and he's like, well, lads, I saw Ross Tweddell on a video with Tom Campbell last week on the Cultaholic Wrestling YouTube channel pitch a end of an era triple threat match for WrestleMania 40 between Randy Orton, John Cena, and CM Punk, and I'm here to make that a reality. So, at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, that triple threat match will happen, and it was set up at Crown Jewel 2023.
It's a yes, obviously. It's a yes. Really, really impressive.
It was a crap. You're reading that there. It's
I'm
awful.
not. What? Why? What's this one?
That was my bit. That was me bit for me Roman Reigns like bog standard match, and then I go on strike.
I quite like that.
But I feel like I owe the viewer a full pitch, and there it was from the bottom of my heart.
Do you want to? You can still say that one if you want.
No, we don't need
sure?
to hear it. Yeah,
Okay.
you can read it out if you want.
No, it's all good, but thank you though.
So yeah, we'll get a triple threat. An end of an era triple threat match is the end goal here, which is set up here with a short-lived tag team of RKO.
RKO.
Attitude adjusting RKOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a yes.
I think
Yeah, it's
at
a yes.
WrestleMania
Go on,
40
then.
that would be good, wouldn't it?
It would actually
How
happen.
good would
It
that
would
How good would that
it would
be?
do numbers.
It
is
would
the-
do numbers.
I
Yeah.
mean, it would be another example of CM Punk not quite getting the WrestleMania main event, but that's okay. It's
He
fine.
doesn't deserve it, does he?
Yes, he does. The best in the world, guys. He's the best.
In the world?
And while he can still go, give him the Mania main event. Triple H, go on.
Imagine if
For a
it was
laugh.
like the second to last match that he gets.
Well, Triple H would literally do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be
Triple
pretty
H
good,
would come out of retirement. I reckon Triple H would risk his own heart
to beat
CM Punk one more
CM
time.
Punk.
Oh god.
Oh, right. My final one is a very simple one as well. And I'm actually quite surprised. Depending on what Jack's final one is, I'm surprised nobody else has done this one.
All right, you sassy bitch.
Bloody
I'm not.
hell.
Wait, no. I'm just saying because it's so
Whoa.
simple. Because it's like it's just there. You know what I mean? It feels like
match
it might
is it? Go
happen.
on.
It's the Fatal Five Way, the women's
Well,
Fatal
obviously, I
Five
don't
Way.
want to talk about that crap, man. No, I'm joking. No,
Right. So.
no Rhea's going to hopefully dominate. It'll be really good.
Yeah, so what I've said is the Fatal Five-Way for the Women's World Championship. Rhea has been saying throughout this build that she'll prove why she is the most dominant woman in the WWE. Why she is, the most dominant woman in the WWE right now. And that's exactly what she does here. But my goodness, it's not before everyone-ish gets to have a great showing also. This is perhaps the perfect match to reintroduce us to some of the meaner streaks we saw from some of these competitors from their time in NXT of yore.
Okay.
I'm like a broken record at this point, right? But when it comes to wanting to see Shayna get that stride back good and proper from the black and gold days, it feels like we're getting more sprinklings of Raquel's character from those days too, which has been nice to see. Essentially, I like the four women who aren't Nia Jax to take Nia Jax out of the equation early on, so Rhea, Raquel, Zoe, and Shayna can get all their spots in.
He's turning around. He's turning around in my mind.
There's unfair prejudice on Nia Jax. I don't like it.
Before bringing Nia back to take the fall.
Oh, you lost me.
What? That way, we're still building these women as being viable, strong opponents for Rhea, perhaps somewhere else down the line, and we also keep them looking strong by not being the ones to take the fall as well in this scenario. Not that you really need to, but you can also keep Jax looking strong and like a monster by her finally succumbing to an avalanche riptide for Ripley to pick up the victory. Regardless, the narrative running throughout this storyline is that Mami has come out on top once again, as always. That's what she says. Oh, sorry, I thought you were cringing at me saying that line.
No, I wasn't. No,
I apologize.
No, I'm all for calling Rhea Mami.
Yeah?
Love it. Yeah.
Maybe not in the most decisive fashion she wins this time, but she's still proved herself to be the most dominant against some of the best on the women's roster right now. And with that revelation, she takes to the mic post-match to declare such a statement too. However, after just beating, excluding Becky Lynch, 4 of the most dominant women on that roster, and now perhaps not necessarily having a clear challenger for the title going forward, it feels like the perfect time to introduce Jade Cargill proper as a member of the Raw roster and have her intentions known that she's coming for Rhea and her title.
But we won't get Jade versus Lyra Valkyria.
Oh, we sure won't.
We will in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
They're really behind Lyra, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I need to apologize
No, it's
for my
okay.
scathing thoughts.
You can scare as much as you want.
It was a good pitch at the end of the day.
Thank you.
And it's a yes from me.
I'm a big fan of Jade not being NXT, so it's a yes from me as well.
Is that the big worry that she is going to be?
She
on
flirts with all the
NXT?
She wasn't flirting with SmackDown last week, was she? Which was a bit of a worry.
No, I guess she wasn't, was she?
She was on a throne in NXT last week.
Oh yeah, but oh yeah, and they really did that stare down with her and Charlotte as well.
I guess though because of
she didn't want to fly over. Was it recorded? No, it wasn't recorded in England, was it?
Well,
What?
last week's SmackDown.
Yeah.
No.
No, right, fair enough.
I do feel like though then if this whole storyline here is like, oh well, I'm the most dominant woman on the roster and I've just beaten these other 4 dominant women, there's no one left really to go up against me other than Becky Lynch, but let's forget about Becky Lynch for now in this scenario, then it feels like the right time to sort of introduce Jade onto the main roster.
No, that's fair
you
enough.
know?
Right. Sami Zayn beats JD McDonough on the pre-show without too much difficulty. Rather than wrestling Sami in a straight-up match, which would probably be very good, JD instead tries to cheat and it backfires. I'm thinking maybe the Kurt Angle chair rebound in your own face.
Oh, the chair would explode.
Into a haluva kick for a pretty quick crowd-popping victory. But Sami's dissatisfied with this, so midway through Crown Jewel, he heads to the ring and demands another opponent. He wants to take out 2 Judgment Day members in one night, so why not Finn Balor? He's the only one who's not on the card.
Yeah, he's not got a match.
Backstage, we see Finn itching to get out there, but Ripley convinces him not to. Just seems like the sort of thing Rhea would do. She's always been a buzzkill with the other lads in the group. She's like, no, Damien, don't cash in. Backstage, no, sorry, I've done that bit. That was Finn being convinced to stay backstage. Back in the ring, Sami says, wow, even though I despise everything the Judgment Day stands for, I at least respected Finn Balor as a wrestler, but I guess maybe he just doesn't have the intensity. Ilya Dragunov's music hits. Right, originally written down I've got, but I guess maybe he just isn't him, and then Carmelo Hayes' music. But I thought, no, because Hayes is like, I wanted this to be a face versus face match, and Hayes is being a really dirty boy at the minute, potentially.
You seen what he's done?
Wait, what happened at the end of something
Last night?
happened at the end of last night?
Spoilers if you've not seen it. Trick Williams came out mid-match,
Yeah.
and it distracted Hayes, and he ended up losing.
Oh,
and then at the
Tricky
end,
Will.
Tricky Will gets in the ring and like pulls Hayes to his feet.
I saw that
and
bit.
they have like a bit of a stare down.
So is Tricky Will not the bad guy then? In this
No,
Trick
No.
Willie got attacked.
he got jumped. And we,
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
who did it, but
Okay.
it's probably
definitely
Carmelo
Carmelo
Hayes.
Hayes.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exciting, isn't
No,
it?
it's all right. It's
Like
all right.
it.
So Dragunov comes out, I guess, and they have like a banger of a match, but it ends in a draw because I don't think either guy's in a good position to be losing right now. The spot that I thought of there, because originally this was planned for Carmelo, but then I changed my mind. I've got like, Dragunov's thing that he does, like his leaping
The
elbow.
diamond.
Yeah. Maybe he does that to Sami through the announce table, goes to get Sami back in the ring, but Sami's so defiant, he like slaps him all weak and
Oh,
and then, oh,
Makes
God.
the vein appear in his forehead.
Yeah, what's the noise that Matthew does when it a sad babyface noise? He goes and slaps him, and Dragunov's infuriated, goes for the other announce table, and then Sami rolls out the way and he sends himself through it, and they're both counted out. Maybe that's a way of doing
you
it.
could do it that way.
Anyway, it's a draw, and Dragunov goes back down to NXT, continues to defend his belt, but I just think it's sowing the seeds for when Dragunov is eventually called up, because I think they'd have a good match
I
together.
think they'd have a banger.
And I think the thing that made me change it from Carmelo is that I think I've pitched this exact pitch before with Carmelo. Can't remember who against, but like my go-to was like Hayes comes out and has a banger of a match, and I thought I can't do that again.
Yeah.
Big P will know. I'm sure Big P will know if you've done that pitch before. I'm sure her name was Polly. I'm saying Big P because I'm not sure what the name was.
I thought you meant Pachiti.
No, not Big P.
He doesn't watch these.
He's Bigger P.
He keeps a tally.
Big P.
Oh, Polly who emailed into the...
She had all the stats a little while ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure her name was Polly.
That was class.
Yeah,
that.
Polly, I think. That was. I like it, by the way.
Thank you,
I
too.
did Sammy versus Dragunov. Yes, please.
Okay.
It's one hell of a kickoff show you've booked there.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that happened
That's
mid-show.
after.
that
Oh,
second.
beg your
Second, he
pardon.
comes out in the middle of the show and says, "Show's called Crown Jewel, right?" And just takes it over.
It's the extra make because Sammy Wow Wow literally makes his debut in that pitch there on screen.
Wow.
Do you remember?
Because he says, "Wow."
Yeah, he says wow. So Sammy
Yeah,
Wow Wow.
Sammy Wow Wow.
It's one of the great
Sammy Wow Wow.
mysteries of many of recent times there, Andrew.
It was a
Sammy,
segment.
wow.
Who was it looking? I can't remember who was looking for Sammy.
I can't
I'll let
remember
Ross,
it.
but he
Wow.
knocks on the locker room door.
Yeah.
I'll let Ross take it from here because.
Oh no! Why? You?
I don't know because I thought you were the big fan of the Sammy Wow Wow.
I thought you were as well. That's
I
why I
am
put
quite.
Sammy Wow in the thing.
Wow.
Chad Gable's
Chad
like, oh, you
Gable,
looking
yeah.
for Sammy Wow Wow? Oh, he's not here.
But it's just no. There's no
no-
explanation. There's no reason for it.
Oh.
It's clearly a real nickname backstage for Sammy that they've just
Sammy
decided
Wow
to pop
Wow.
the boys on camera with.
Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't. It was never. No one ever found
Never
out why.
explained.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's a mystery.
It might have
is.
been. It might have been when he was being Shorty G as well. It might have been during that time.
Oh, maybe.
Shorty G. Remember that?
What a time.
He was embracing the bullies and becoming a bigger person.
But
in
in
the
real
process.
life,
Yeah.
he was actually being bullied
Just
by
being
Vince
bullied,
McMahon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just as we all are. By no, it's a good card. I shouldn't say that. I was going to say by being made to watch Crown Jewel. No, it's a stacked lineup.
It is a good card.
They've done it again. The last few like B show pay per views. I've thought Triple H has lost a bit of momentum. It's not quite as good as it was when it was in Puerto Rico or in London. And now he's bloody saved the big one for the Saudi Arabia show, which the crowd would go huge for anything over there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we are looking forward to it because the card is stacked. I think you said it could be a WrestleMania card.
It could be with these matches, I think.
And we will be covering it for you on YouTube. Are you doing the predictions? And that
Yeah,
for that?
me and Adam will be doing predictions. They'll go live tomorrow. And then we're also doing the live stream, youtube.com/cultaholic/live. So look out for that.
And I'll be doing what happened at immediately after the show. Ross is off next.
I thought I'll actually get it done. I forgot that it's on Saturday night, innit?
Ross,
So
I was about to be like, sadly, no WTF moments.
Oh,
but
people don't care if it's there or not.
Aye.
Yeah, they
but
do.
yeah, well, I'll watch it on Saturday night and record it on Sunday morning, so it'll get done. I'm going to make Richard work on
are
Sunday.
you just having a week off? Or are you going somewhere?
I'm going to Borussia Dortmund away. So
Oh.
I might not come back. This might be on Mars Pitches video, whether I get killed or get lost, one of the two.
God, there's another
Jesus.
Champions League game so soon after.
Next week.
Wow.
A week yesterday, sorry, is we're sat here.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. And that's been 9 pitches for Crown Jewel. Thank you, Ross and Andrew, for joining me on this wonderful journey.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Sorry.
See you. Oh, no, wait. And remember, life's a pitch.
And then you die.